me in excellent shape. And by the final Friday night of camp, we're all in stupendous form. When I get back into my cabin, there are clothes everywhere. You'd think it was something more than an end-of-camp dance. By the time I get into the dining hall, the bass and strobe are pumping. I spot Polly in the center of the crowd, and she is a thing of fearsome beauty. Unconstrained by choreography, Polly's one of those dancers a circle forms around. I watch as her every move is captured by the strobe. A song later, Polly grabs my hands and pulls me into the seething mass. It's all limbs and hips and shoulders and hair, and then someone puts a cup in my hand and it's hot and I'm thirsty, so I drain it and go looking for a garbage can. Looking for something, says a boy's voice I don't recognize amidst all the noise. Yeah, a garbage, I say. Have you seen it? There's something wrong. I wasn't this tired until right this second. I shouldn't be so tired. The voice leads me away from the dining hall to where I know the garbage isn't, but for some reason I can't tell him he's going the wrong way. There's a moment when I know I should scream, but screaming would be hard and blackness would be easy. Black picks me. According to the Department of Justice, young women 16 to 19 years old are 3.5 times more likely to become victims of rape than the general population. For high school senior Hermione Winters, the aftermath of rape is both confusing and terrifying. Am I broken? Who am I now? How do I move on? Her courage and spirit show us all that it is possible to survive the unimaginable and take back our lives. Exit Pursued by a Bear by E.K. Johnston. I've never felt this rough waking up. The nurse has me sitting up and puking into a small tin pan before I realize what I'm doing. Polly's face is so white. Whatever it is, it must be bad. What happened? They found you lying on the rocks. You were still in your dress, but your underwear was gone. I need you to say it, Polly. Someone spiked your drink at the dance, and they got you alone and took you down by the water. And you couldn't stop him because the bastard drugged you. And then he raped you. I can't breathe! I left the dance with a boy to know! I can't breathe! Coming home from camp is weird. My parents don't hover exactly, but one is always there. We sit around the table at dinner and try and figure out how it works now. This year, I'm more changed than I can tell. Do you think I should quit? Hell no, says Polly. I don't even think you should stay home a week from school. The doctor said, the doctor isn't a teenage girl who's going back to a school full of teenagers. The doctor was probably a nerd in high school. You are devastatingly popular, which means everyone will be talking about you. I think I'll listen to the medical experts, at least until I can think about boys without wanting to vomit. I'll get right to it, Officer Plummer says. The lab technicians ran all the samples against the DNA, and none were a match. And it's possible that one of the boys who volunteered his sample switched his out. We need a suspect. School. It's both better and worse than I imagined. My teachers act like it never happened, which is fine because that's kind of how I act. I weather the stares and the pity. I know it happened, but it still feels like it happened to someone else. I adopt my new life as normal. For the Halloween dance, I picked out the ugliest costume. Are you sure about this? Amy asks. Totally. I miss dancing, and if I do freak out, I want the people I trust with me. This is how my life used to be, and I miss it. We all walk into the dance together. The beat picks up. A loud, throbbing tone that unsettles my stomach. I can't quite place the song right away. I take a sip of my drink. It hits me. I'm trying to get out. I'm a nanosecond away from screaming when Polly crashes into me. Hermione, you're going to talk or I'm going to slap you. Everything is starting to spin. Hermione, it's the song. Hermione, I'm not kidding. I want to be okay. It scares me how much I want it. Cheerleading is the only thing that keeps me going. At practice, I'm with Clarence and Dion, and we wobble because Dion is hesitant to lift me. Seriously, I tell him I won't break. Lift me like you did at camp. God, Dion, Clarence says they've got me in the air. She's not contagious. I laugh so hard I topple over and fall right on top of Clarence. I'm on the gym floor with a guy's arms wrapped around my waist, and I'm not freaking out. So I count that as a win. Look, we all know what happened at camp. We were all there. I know most of you don't know how to feel about it. I don't either sometimes. But I can't work through it if the guys are afraid to lift me or if no one ever talks about those 2 weeks. I need you to be my team. Can you do that? There's a chorus of cheers and yeses. It's February before I know it, and we're getting ready for tours. And if all goes well, nationals. So, Hermione, asks the newspaper reporter, what's the best thing about being a cheerleader for Palermo Heights? My team, for sure. Good. Hermione, after your attack last summer, do you have any words of advice on how other girls can be smart to prevent such awful things from happening to them? You know, any precautions you wish you took? Anything you wish you'd known to stop this from happening again? If I was a boy, would you be asking me that? Well, no, of course not. So let me get this straight, Polly says. You're okay with asking a girl who was wearing a nice dress and had nice hair, who went to the dance with her cabin mates and drank from the same punch bowl as everyone else. You're okay with asking that girl what mistake she made, and you wouldn't think to ask the boy how we could avoid raping someone? Would this be a better story if Hermione had known what she was drinking, if her skirt was 2 inches shorter? I hadn't thought about it. I mean, I know it wasn't my fault. That's what everyone thinks. So, we go to nationals. We hit every landing and point every toe. By the time Dion throws me, I sail past Polly and into Clarence's catch. The crowd goes wild. And the score, ladies and gentlemen, for Palermo Heights. 57 out of 60, rocketing them into first place. I don't remember how I end up on the edge of the group. What I remember is looking up as we pass the team from North York. I lock eyes with one of the boys. I don't recognize him, but I recognize the expression on his face. It's the expression he's going to wear when Officer Plummer asks, did you switch out your DNA sample to avoid being charged with rape? The announcer calls the team name, and I watch them bounce out. I see him throw a water bottle into the garbage. Polly, I need you to get a Ziploc from Mallory, a big one. Why? And then she realizes why and leaves like I've set her feet on fire. She comes back with a Ziploc bag. She has Officer Plummer with her. I watch as they slowly lift up the bottle, seal it up, and label the bag. Officer Plummer looks like she wants to tell me, I've been amazing. But mercifully, she doesn't. Maybe she's figured out, I want to be amazing for something else. I'm not worried about being the rape girl. I'm not even thinking about court trials or cheer competitions. We better get going, Polly says. Today, everything is ours if we want it. Yes, it is.